Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Dr. Carter, Francis Marion University, and the African American Faculty and Staff Coalition, we'd like to officially welcome each of you to the 20th Anniversary Celebration Gala. Our hosts for this great occasion will be none other than Ms. Cynthia Pryor Hardy. And you can follow along with me on the program. It's already her bio. Cynthia Pryor Hardy is a Columbia-based communications executive who currently owns and hosts top-rated weekly radio news talk show, On Point with Cynthia Hardy. It appears every Sunday evening on WWDM 101.3 and reaches most of South Carolina as well as parts of Georgia and North Carolina. Ms. Hardy's insight is often sought by national outlets. She has appeared on NBC's Hardball with Chris Matthews and NBC's Nightly News with Tom Brokaw and on NPR. She's also served as a host for statewide and local news programs. Ms. Hardy's track record as a communications consultant includes work as interview and communications coach for Miss America Kimberly Aiken, and as communications director for King Day at the Dome, our march and rally in the protest of the Confederate flag in South Carolina. In 2002 and 2003, Hardy worked with several Episcopal district of the AME Church as communications consultant for Pentecost in the Millennium, the largest gathering of AME congregants in the country, with more than 16,000 attending each year's event. So I present to you now and introduce to some Ms. Cynthia Pryor Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, and thank you to each and every one of you tonight. What a beautiful evening that's been planned for us by the FMU African American Faculty and Staff Coalition. Can we give them a round of applause? Which is really absolutely wonderful. 20 years ago, in 1995, when Dr. Joseph Hayward, your former provost, and Dr. Lee Vickers, your former president here at Francis Marion, signed the charter agreement that established the FMU African American Faculty and Staff Coalition, they had a vision that was both simple and profound. They knew that intentional efforts that build on mutual respect, cooperation, and understanding result in much better outcomes for everybody. The faculty, the students, the staff, the administration, the entire FMU community and family, both immediate and extended. It's very, very far-reaching. So as we celebrate the honor and legacy of Dr. Hayward and Dr. Vickers tonight, we likewise celebrate so many of you who are in this room who have helped to advance the vision, both individually and collectively, and we are all better for it. And so we thank you, the coalition, for all of your efforts over the years. And to be here tonight to celebrate 20 years, and to know that in February of 1995, that two very distinguished individuals saw exactly what we're doing here tonight as worthy of not just declaring, but actually chartering an effort that would work into just forever. And that's just absolutely wonderful, and it's wonderful to see the embodiment of their vision in their efforts tonight. I bring you greetings from our On Point family, the On Point team. We do 2 shows. Sunday evenings, On Point with Cynthia Hardy is heard through most of the state of South Carolina, parts of Georgia, and parts of North Carolina. And we also do a television show, On Point on Watchbox, that's seen every Sunday morning on WACH, Fox 57, throughout most of the Midlands of the state. Our shows really go deep, and our intentions are to take on tough topics, sensitive topics, controversial topics, political topics, topics that are important to each and every one of you because it helps us to understand what's going on around us so we see how we fit into the world. Our commitment each and every time that we open the mic is to bring you information that isn't just vetted, but information that is fair and balanced. We don't tell people what to think, but we do encourage you to think by bringing perspectives from each side of the issue. left, right, somewhere in between, because the intent is for South Carolinians to be better for the information. Likewise, that same degree of excellence is embodied by each and every thing that this coalition does, because its intent is to serve. All of us can be great, because what? All of us can serve. And so much of what is done by this coalition is through service, and we'll meet some of those individuals that are not just committed to what it is that is done by the coalition, but also are the benefactors of what is done by the coalition. So we are very thankful tonight to be a part of this event, and to be, because part of it, you guys, is that we are honored when we have the opportunity, we're asked to come out across the state and go into communities and have a chance to see this community dedication, the achievements, the talent that you're going to see on this stage tonight. It brings joy to us at On Point, and you should feel likewise the same amount of joy, because this is you. Vice President Teresa Ramey, in the nearly 6 years that she has been a member of this organization, has come to appreciate it for the camaraderie among the group and for the dedication to the mission to serve the students, especially those that need it most. As a person that served on the Board of Trustees for a college, my college, Columbia College, we know how important it is for there to be that bridge of understanding between the communities and the academia, just in academia in general. And certainly what your efforts are, as I mentioned in the intro, they're simple but they're profound. Because just ask somebody where it doesn't work well, how important it is to have what you all have created because you knew that it needed to be done. It's interesting, in my conversation with Vice President Ramey, she told me that she left Spelman in Atlanta to be here at FMU. Well, that's certainly their loss and our gain. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice President Teresa Ramey.
What began on February the 24th, 1995 as a promise to stimulate and enhance cultural awareness and to promote professional development has evolved into an outstanding organization that has expanded its scope to include the entire FMU community. Tonight, we celebrate a significant milestone in our short history as we pay tribute to our founding members, applaud our current members for their diligence, and acknowledge our scholarship recipients. This celebration would not be complete if we did not showcase our rich and diverse culture. In observance of Black History Month, you will be presented with some of the best and most talented artists who will move you with soul-stirring gospels and dazzle you with the synergy of musical theater through African dance. Thank you for taking the journey with us. Enjoy the presentations, and as always, together we can.
Thank you, Vice President Ramey. Thank you. Did you guys enjoy the music in the reception? Weren't it good? Well, that was Faithful Few Band, Quinn Bell, Tyler Brunson, and Lorenzo Weiss. Can we give them a big round of applause? They're really good. They're really good. And so the talent keeps coming. The Francis Marion Young, Gifted, and Blessed Choir, of course, is designed to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ while performing unity among fellow students, youth, and the community through service, through music, and through ministry. They are a nonprofit organization. I want to tell you just a little bit about the student director, and I think it's so cool that they have a student director. Jeffrey Grice. Now, he's a student director in the 3rd year. He's a Dillon County resident. He's looking forward to graduating in a few weeks. Can you guys believe it? Graduation is here. He's looking forward to graduating in a few weeks and becoming, get this, an English teacher on the high school level. Bless his heart. I asked him why, and I thought his answer was great. He said that he wants to, well, first of all, he said, Ms. Hardy, there's a lot of things happening in the world. And sometimes those things that are happening in the world don't show a very good depiction of young men. I want to change that. So what I'd like to do is my part. He says he wants to be a living example to the students and a shining representation to the community at large of what being young and successful looks like. So can we give Mr. Grice, young Mr. Grice, a round of applause for that statement? I want to tell you a little bit more about the efforts of him and the efforts of the choir, and then I'll introduce them because that's really what you want to hear. But they have recently been requested to sing in Chicago for the Rainbow Push Coalition, where the Reverend Jesse Jackson will be giving a speech on Black history, and the program will be televised on the World Network, February 28, 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the young, gifted, and blessed gospel choir of Francis Marion University. Oasis Gospel Choir. Big old round of applause again. Talent abounds down here. Talent abounds down here. Well, we have it coming for you. Before we move on to additional talent, I want to introduce our Assistant Dean of Students and Ms. Latasha Brand. She's a graduate of FMU. After getting her master's degree at my school, Columbia College, she came back home. And she came back 10 years ago to give back. Ladies and gentlemen, by a round of applause, let's welcome for a special presentation our Assistant Dean of Students, Latasha Brand.
Good evening. It's my honor to introduce our first honoree. Dr. Joseph E. Hayward is a native of Florence, South Carolina, and a graduate of Wilson High School. He received his Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Physics from Hampton University, his Master of Arts in Mathematics from Morgan State University, and his Doctorate of Education in Student Personnel Services from the University of South Carolina. He is a member of Cumberland United Methodist Church, where he serves as organist, a member of the Finance Committee, and the Staff Pastor Relations Committee. Dr. Hayward is very active in the Florence community. He is a member of the Florence Rotary Club, president of the board of PD Housing Development Corporation and Pelican House, and a member of the McLeod Fellows Program. Professionally, he has been a teacher, assistant principal, and assistant superintendent for instruction in Florence School District 1. He spent 30 years at Francis Marion University. During that time, he was a counselor, professor, director of Students Smith University Center, and spent 23 years as a vice president. During that 23-year span, he served as interim provost for 3 different occasions, totaling 4 years. The university awarded him an honorary degree and named a building for him, the Hayward Community Center. He is married to the former Evelyn Sargent, and they are the parents of 3 children: Joseph, a chemical analyst; Ryan, mechanical engineer; and Regina, former counselor. They have 6 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, to receive the Coalition Award for Distinction, our honoree and scholarship name donor, Dr. Joseph E. Hayward.
They told me I could say a few words. 20 years ago, I could have jumped up on the stage. But I do want to say thanks to the African American Faculty Staff Coalition for recognizing me this evening. Little did I know 20 years ago what would become of that organization. I thank them for their continued work to provide scholarships to students and to build a community among themselves, to better themselves and to better the Florence community. To each of you, I say thank you, and I congratulate you on all that you are doing and will do in the future. My special thanks to my former boss, Fred Carter. Appreciate him for all that he has done to assist this organization and to help move it forward. Again, thank you and God bless.
How wonderful, and congratulations. And to be able to have Dr. Hayward here with us, what a wonderful, wonderful honor. And it's just so wonderful to see him doing well and being here tonight. We have additional cultural entertainment for you. And it's so fitting that the coalition has seen fit to intersperse this cultural entertainment, because a big reason for the founding of the organization, as many of you know, is to advance our scholarship, but also to educate the masses culturally about the rich, rich talents of African American people. And so it is with honor that I introduce our next group, Mayo Stars in Phoenix, Spain, from all different schools in Darlington County. You know, of course you all know that Mayo is a magnet school, so it has the benefit of tremendous talent from our children from all over, which is absolutely wonderful. Now, they have been touring the state, doing musical and dramatic presentations, and of course, we hear about them all over the state of South Carolina. They are a National Blue Ribbon school, so we know that that means they're considered among the best in the country, and that gives us real pride when we see the students as the embodiment of all of the things that, as adults, you all work hard to do. Very proud to be able to present a portion of what they do tonight. They are noted for being featured performers in a number of key events around the state of South Carolina, namely, most notably, the State School Board Association. They have with them tonight their director and their assistant director with them, and we are very, very delighted that their musical director, Mr. Cole Davis, and their dramatic director and show director, Ms. Paulette Lunn, will be directing the students as they perform for us tonight, to show them how very, very proud we are of them, and appreciate the fact that they are here to present a portion of what they do tonight. Let's give a big rousing round of applause for Mayo Stars and Phoenix Flames.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war was won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Glory, oh, glory. Glory, oh.
Hands to the heaven, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Every day, women and men become legends. The sins of fight against our skins become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is just the position in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. Truant living in us. Resistance is us. That's why our Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman the man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shot sweet on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. One day, when the war was won, we will be sure, we will be sure.
I am the woman who worked in the field, bringing the cotton and the corn to yield. I am the one who labored to my grave, beaten and mistreated for the work I gave. Children sold away from me. Husband sold too. No safety, no love, no respect was I due. 300 years in the deepest south. But God put a song and a prayer in my mouth. God put a dream like steel in my soul. Now through my children, I'm reaching the goal. Now through my children, young and free, I realized the blessings deeded to me. I couldn't read then. I couldn't write. I had nothing back there in the night. Sometimes the valley was filled with tears, but I kept trudging on through the lonely years. Sometimes the road was hot with sun, but I had to keep on till my work was done. I had to keep on, no stopping for me. I was the seed of the coming free. I nourished the dream that nothing could smother deep in my breast. I am the Negro mother.
Now the war isn't over and victory isn't won, but we'll fight to the finish, and when it's all said and done, we'll cry glory, oh glory, oh glory.
Selma is now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, he rose to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald eagle. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our cuss is the music that we bleed through. Welcome to the world we call victory. Coming to the Lord, my eyes have seen glory.
I ain't draft dodging. I ain't burning no flag. And I ain't running to Canada. I'm staying right here. You wanna send me to jail? Fine, you go right ahead. I've been in jail for 400 years. I could be there for 4 or 5 more. But what I ain't doing is going no 10,000 miles to help murder and kill other poor people. You wanna send me to jail? Fine, you go right ahead.
Now the war isn't over, victory isn't won, but we'll fight to the finish, and when it's all said and done, we'll cry glory, oh glory, glory, oh.
Boy, Willie, you're gonna mess around and play with me one too many times. Then God is gonna bless you and the Undertaker will dress you. Now set that piano back over there. I done told you 100 times I ain't selling that piano. Money can't buy you what that piano costs. You can't sell your soul for money. All the time. All I ever hear from you is, I need some money. I need some money. How about you try working sometimes and get you some money? Every scheme in the world ain't for you. Who you gonna call when you down and out? Me, Bernice, that's who. And I am tired of it. You ought to be preserving your soul because it's gonna shrivel up and shrink because you're gonna sell it to the first buyer. Always talking about land. What land you gonna buy? You can't even save $2. If a quarter jiggling in your pocket, you ain't satisfied till you lost it. That piano represented your family. Why can't you have family, money, and land? You have done nothing for this family but suck the life out of it. And now you're crying, screaming, whining, and complaining about selling something that's been in your family for years. that piano. And I'm holding on. Now, if you can't, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do. But what you need to do is get down on your knees and pray. Because I ain't selling that piano. I ain't selling that piano.
Sons. She's dead, and they're gone away. The pines whisper to Jesus. Who gave them to her? She wouldn't tell. Rather than cast her out, white folks and black folks built her a cabin near the rumbling railroad tracks. Shut up, shut out, and shut away. And the pines whispered to Jesus. The two boys grew, and Becky was left in shambles, her life never the same. Her way of life, being a person, a mama, playing with your children, that was all gone. And the pines whispered to Jesus. The boys got into some trouble, and the town folk said, they're no good. Becky was afraid. She hid with no place to hide. The smile left her face, her love began to fade, her looks were no longer there. And the pines whispered to Jesus. The boys eventually left home. The only thing seen of Becky anymore was smoke coming from a chimney. But soon that smoke faded. The house fell in, and they said Becky was inside. And the pines still whispered to Jesus. Becky was the white woman with 2 Negro sons. Her life, it was not her own. Someone called her home. And the pines whispered to Jesus. The pines whispered to Jesus.
I only see gray. When everybody sees the rainbow, I'm stuck in the rain. Take a little piece of me every time you leave. I don't think that I'll ever find that silver lining or reason to smile. You know I used to such vibrant dreams. Now I'm colorblind, colorblind. When did my heart get so full of the never mind, never mind? Did you know that you stole the only thing I needed? Always black and white in my eyes. I'm colorblind. Funny that you managed to just wash away. Even pictures that you're not in have started to fade. I try to play my favorite songs and I can't sing along. The words don't feel the same. You've taken all the best things from me and thrown them away. I used to paint such vibrant dreams. Now I'm colorblind, colorblind. When did my heart get so full of the never mind, never mind? Did you know that you stole the only thing I needed? Always black and white in my eyes. I'm colorblind. I'll wait for roses to be red again. And I hate that you took my blue from the ocean. Give me back green greens and goldens. My purples, my blues, you stole them. How long will I be broken? You know I used to paint such vibrant dreams. Now I'm colorblind, colorblind. When did my heart get so full of the never mind, never mind? Did you know that you stole the only thing I needed? Always black and white in my eyes. I'm colorblind. It's only black and white in my eyes. I'm colorblind.
Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. and didn't even care enough to send a note home saying I was late for my solo conversation or I was too small for my own tacky skirts. What can anybody do with something of no value on an open market? Did you get a dime for my things? Hey man, where are you going with all of my stuff? See, this is a woman's trip, and I need my stuff to ooh and to ah about. Honest to God, somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff, and I didn't bring anything but the kick and the sway of it. This is some delicate leg and some whimsical kiss. I gotta have the right to give to my choice, so you can't have me unless I give me away. And I was doing all that till you ran off on a good thing. And who is this you left me with? Some simple woman with a bad attitude. This is mine. Juanita's own things. That's my name. Now give me my stuff. I want my things. I want my arm with the hat-on scar. I want my leg with the flea bite. I want my things. I want my callous feet and quick language back in my mouth. I want my own things, how I love them. Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff, and I was standing there looking at myself the whole time.
If I never get that house, that car, or be a superstar, and my dreams never come true, will I be satisfied with you? And if no one ever knows my name, and my gifts don't bring me fame, if everything I have someday I lose, will I be satisfied with you? Satisfied with you. You, Jesus, I want you. All I do.
When I close my eyes, will I still be right by your side? Standing face to face finally, will you be satisfied with me?
If I never get that house, that car, or be a superstar, and my dreams never come true, will I be satisfied with you? And if no one ever knows my name, and my gifts don't bring me fame, if everything I have someday I lose, will I be satisfied with you? Satisfied with you. You, Jesus, I want you. All I do. And if no one ever knows my name, and my gifts don't bring me fame, if everything I have someday I lose, will I be satisfied with you?
If I should have a daughter, instead of Mom, she's gonna call me Point B. That way, no matter whatever happens in life, she can always find her way to me. And I'm gonna paint the solar systems on the backs of her hand. So she has to learn this entire universe before she can say, oh, I know that like the back of my hand. And she's gonna learn that this life will hit you hard in the face, wait for you to get back up just so it can kick you in the stomach But getting the wind knocked out of you, well, that's the only way to remind your lungs how much they love the taste of air. There is hurt here that cannot be fixed by Band-Aids or poetry. So the first time that she realized that Wonder Woman isn't coming, I'll make sure she knows she doesn't have to wear the cape all by herself. And baby, I'll tell her, don't keep your nose up in the air like that. I know that trick, I've done it 1,000,000 times. You're just smelling for smoke, so you can follow the trail back to a burning house to find the boy who lost everything in the fire, to see if you can save him. Or else, find the boy who lit the fire in the first place to see if you can change him. But I know she will anyway, so instead, I'll always keep an extra supply of chocolate and rain boots nearby, because there is no heartbreak that chocolate can't fix. Okay, well, maybe there's a few heartbreaks that chocolate can't fix. But that's what the rain boots are for, because rain will wash away everything if you let it. I want her to look at life from the underside of a glass-bottom boat, because that's the way my mom taught me, that there'll be days like this. There'll be days like this, my mama said, when you open your hands to catch and end up with only blisters and bruises. When you step out of a phone booth and try to fly, and the very people you're trying to save are the ones standing on your cape. When it begins to rain, and you'll be up to your knees in disappointment, and those are the days you have all the more reasons to say thank you. And no matter how many landmines erupt in a minute, be sure that your mind lands on this funny place called life. And yes, on a scale from 1 to over-trusting, I am pretty darn naive. But I want her to know that this world is made of sugar. It can crumble so easily, but don't be afraid to stick your tongue out and taste it. Baby, I'll tell her, remember your mama is a worrier, and your papa, he's a warrior, and you are the girl with small hands and big eyes who never stops asking for more. Remember that good things come in threes, and so do bad things. And always apologize when you've done something wrong, but don't you ever apologize for the way that your eyes refuse to stop shining. Your voice is small, but don't you ever stop singing. And when they finally hand you heartache, when they slip pain and hatred under your door and offer you handouts on street corners of cynicism and defeat, you tell them that they really ought to meet your mother.
Shine it on my heart so you can see the truth, that this love I have inside is everything it seems. But for now I find it's only in my dreams. If I could change if I could be king,
Okay, so who besides me felt like we were on Broadway? I know! Yeah! So, it is uncommon to see that level of talent and just to tear the stage up like that. The male stars in Phoenix, fame, and it's just really important that I think we not just pause to recognize their talent, but also to give big ups to Cole Davis, who is their musical director, and big ups to Paulette Lund, who is the dramatic director and show director. Absolutely awesome. Well, we're continuing now with our presentations, and Linda Sullen is preparing to come to the stage. Now, I said, tell me a little bit about you, Ms. Sullen. She says, well, I'm married to Dennis, who's a grad. My son is a grad, and I'm a grad. She said all three of them are graduates of the college. She's worked on campus for more than 35 years, but 25 of those years in accounting. By a round of applause, please welcome Linda Sullen, who comes tonight with a special presentation.
Good evening. The person we are honoring here tonight is truly a trailblazer. If Rebecca were here, she would say, keep it simple. Rebecca Selena Lund had a great love for Francis Marion University and its students. During her tenure, she had advised many students through their transitional years into the university. She was one of the founding members of the coalition and served as the first president. In 2007, the president of Francis Marion University, Dr. Fred Carter, thought that it was most fitting that the university honored her through the naming of the Lund Scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, to accept the Coalition's award for distinction on behalf of our honoree and named scholarship donor, Ms. Rebecca S. Lund, her sister, Ms. Rennie Lund McAllister. Talk show host and producer, I have nothing to say much tonight. I don't have any prepared remarks, but I do want to say, when I saw that grand piano, I said, well, maybe I'll sing them a song or play them something appropriate. But no, you make my heart smile. Thank you, Francis Marion University Coalition. Keep up the good, great work that you're doing for years to come, changing the future and rebuilding this world. And Becky's smiling now. Thank you.
How wonderful. You know, the awards that you all are giving are absolutely great. It just gives me a lot of honor to be able to hear their stories and to be able to talk to them as well. Likewise, we continue with the cultural aspect of tonight's program as we prepare to introduce Justine Roberts and the Performing Arts Academy. Justine Roberts, of course, is a native New Yorker who studied dance in New York City and performed with and studied with the famed Alvin Ailey Dance Company. She appeared in the critically acclaimed movie Fame. Of course, that movie was based on a high school in New York City, the Performing Arts High School of New York. I asked her if she met Debbie Allen while she was doing all that. She said, yeah, and Ben Vereen too. She moved back this way, south, in 1993 and opened the school in 1996, and she has been an artist in residence in South Carolina since. After touring and dancing in New York, she returned here, as I mentioned, to found the Performing Arts Academy. They do all genres of dancing, whether it's ballet, jazz, modern, African, hip-hop, and tonight, of course, We are delighted that they will come and entertain us on behalf of the coalition. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Justine Roberts and the Performing Arts Academy.
Time and years have passed, and celebration can now begin. Colorful clothes, head wraps, and smiling faces to symbolize the freedom from which all of our ancestors did not get to enjoy. We can now clap our hands, we can shake our skirt tails, we can jump for joy and even sing. African dance, according to R.F. Thompson, has 4 unique qualities. First, the body moves in a multi-unit fashion, where the head and the arms may move to one rhythmic pattern, while the feet follow a different time signature. Secondly, it is percussive. The dancer interprets the rhythm nature of the music through movement. Thirdly, though as a whole, African dance is a community event, some dancers follow different parts of the rhythm, dancing apart from the crowd. Finally, realizing that African dance and its phrases, nuances, their sets of movements overlapping, creating a call and response pattern. African dance has been around a long time, for centuries, not just to celebrate freedom, but to celebrate life, and is used through many traditions, through many rituals. African dance reached the Americans during the slave trade. Slaves were often prohibited from dancing. But African-based movements found their way in European dance styles, quickly evolving into popular American dances. The influence of African dance can be seen in early American dances, such as the ring shout and the cakewalk, and later even in dances such as the jitterbug and the Charleston. The influence is still visible in more contemporary styles of dance, including hip-hop and even jazz. For the time has come now that every American is free to dance. So join us tonight in our freedom celebration. In the words of the great late Martin Luther King Jr., free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Yeah.
There are many historic songs that are sung today that most people feel are just wonderful, soul-stirring, soul-blessing songs. When in all actuality, many of these songs, many of these spirituals, many of these traditional songs that were sung, the songs that contained signals. These were signals and these were signs that were most used to direct slaves to a place of freedom. It directed slaves to freedom or kept them in hiding until they were able to reach complete freedom. Wade in the Water is one of those historic songs of signal. Wade in the Water, a song that so many of us are familiar with. The history of this song is a rich history. History tells us that Harriet Tubman used the song Wade in the Water, to tell escaping slaves to get off the trail and into the water, to make sure that the dogs that slave catchers used couldn't sniff out their trail. Understanding that people walking through water did not leave a scent. They did not leave a trail, so dogs could not find them. In this time, in this century now, we are now able to view this in a different light. We as a people are no longer required to get off of the trail and to get into the water to hide from the dogs. But now as we visit Wade in the Water, we find that this song, this traditional soul-stirring song, is a spiritual that is now being used as a baptism song. It's a song that we find all across the country in the African American culture. The water being troubled by God in history was a way of wiping away human sins, to not get caught by dogs and to allow them to walk into freedom. But now, the water being troubled by God, in this present time, in this present day, is a way of wiping away human sins, wiping away transgression and iniquity, so that they can find freedom and to have a right to the tree of life. The song says, wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. God's going to trouble the water.
round of applause. They're wonderful. I tell you what, the talent in here tonight is absolutely amazing. You agree? Oh, it's just absolutely amazing, absolutely wonderful. We are delighted to also welcome to the stage for another presentation tonight, Demetra Pearson. Now, she's a founding member of the coalition, and I understand that she worked here for 15 years, then she left for 12, and said she realized she had it better where she was, and now she's back. She says she's privileged to be here to witness and see the wonderful work of the coalition over the years since its founding. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Demetra Pearson for another presentation. Ms. Pearson.
Good evening. It is indeed an honor and a privilege for me to present our next honoree this evening. Dr. Leroy P. Peterson, Jr. is a professor of chemistry at Francis Marion University, where he has served since 1991. He was named the Trustees Research Scholar in 2011. Peterson earned his Bachelor of Science degree in 1984 from Francis Marion University, where he majored in chemistry and math. He earned his Doctor of Philosophy degree in Physical Inorganic Chemistry from the University of South Carolina. Prior to coming to Francis Marion, Peterson served as a chemical operations specialist in the United States Army's 82nd Airborne Division for 3 years. He spent 8 additional years in the United States Army Reserve. Peterson is a member of the American Chemical Society, the FMU African American Faculty and Staff Coalition, and the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society. He is also a member, as well as the current advisor for the Omicron Delta Kappa Leadership Honor Society, and is co-advisor for the FMU Omega Psi Phi fraternity. As society memberships and his selection as a trustee research scholar attest, Peterson is actively involved in research, has published numerous research papers, and delivered numerous presentations in this field during his career. The Peterson Scholarship is awarded annually to FMU students. Peterson is married to Regina M. Peterson. They have a daughter and 3 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, to receive the Coalition Award for Distinction, our honoree and scholarship named donor, Dr. Leroy P. Peterson, Jr.
I am deeply honored to be a recipient of this prestigious award tonight. You know, on occasions like this momentous occasion, it gives me pause, it gives me time to reflect back and to think particularly on some of the significant events that our country endured. We go back to the 1960s, turbulent times of the civil rights era. Dr. Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech. Judge me by the content of my character. And you can even go back 100 years earlier on that great battlefield of Gettysburg. Abraham Lincoln, in his final statement, this nation shall have a new birth of freedom, and that this nation under God shall not perish from the earth. And I like to think of the coalition, and we are the coalition, that we understand those principles and those ideals, and we carry those ideals forward. Daphne Carter McCants, Dr. Carter, Dr. Chapman, Dr. Hayward, the family of Rebecca Lunn, I am just deeply honored to be in your company tonight. All of our distinguished guests out there, and in particular our students, you all have been there for me. You all have helped me in my career and also in my personal life. And not to mention my family out there. I got to go home tonight. So my family, my daughters here, Beth Peterson, Mark Peterson is here. Thank you very much for being here, for being present. And we have a long time to go. We will impact the lives of students in profound ways in the future. Together, we are a village, and we're going to impact their lives. And that's why I'm so happy to be part of the coalition, to help these students realize their dreams. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dr. Peterson. Congratulations to all the award recipients tonight. Coming for a spotlight on the scholarship effort is Arthenius Jackson. Because scholarships are a big part of what the coalition sees as its mission to do, this is a very special part of the program. Ms. Jackson is known to a lot of people by being a well-known vocalist, but she's not going to sing tonight. She is going to come to do that portion of our program. As I mentioned, that's a very, very significant part of the program. While she's just been a member of the organization for 4 years, she's a leader. She's vice president of the organization and one of its younger members. Recently, she started her own nonprofit. And is geared toward educating young men and young women about relational violence and sexual assault. Such a conscientious young woman, it's not surprising that she's also a graduate of FMU. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome by a round of applause Arthenius Jackson for our scholarship spotlight tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I am delighted that I have this opportunity to recognize our scholarship recipients for the 2014-2015 school year. Just to give you a little bit of information on how the process works, we send out maybe close to 500 emails to candidates who are eligible, and then we go through the process of reading over 100 essays and then sit through 20+ interviews. So after carefully reading and carefully examining the needs of our students, we select our recipients. And this year, we were able to give out 10 Joseph E. Hayward scholarships with $700, 2 Rebecca S. Lund for $1,000 each, and 2 Leroy P. Peterson scholarships, $500 each. At this time, I would like for you to help me recognize our recipients tonight, and please hold your applause as they come forth on the stage. For our Joseph E. Hayward Scholars, we have Nadine Smith, Justin Gaskins, Aaliyah Edwards, Brittany Aiken, Kimberly Gray, Tevin Leary, Khalil Champagne, Justina Jones, and Brandon McDowell. Unfortunately, one of our recipients was not able to come tonight. She was recently hospitalized, and that was Miss Aaliyah Edwards. For our Rebecca S. Lund scholarships, we awarded Naisha Elmore and Shannon Scott. And finally, our Leroy P. Peterson Scholars, we have Jordan Griffin and Candy McKinney. And let's give one final applause for all of our scholarship recipients for the 2014-2015 school year.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause to these fine students. How proud we are of them. And I was just chatting backstage with your next speaker, and she said something that I want to share because I think it's important. In meeting all of you tonight, one of the things that really comes through, you come from various walks. Some of you are professors, some of you are deans, and some of you are students, but all of you are leaders. And in speaking tonight with our next speaker who is coming forward to do the Diversity Award, one of the things that was mentioned by Ms. Teresa McDuffie is that she was here when there was no coalition. And after the coalition came to be, that over the 20 years that you've existed, she's actually seen the molding of different groups into a unified body, becoming one family. And I know that that is the intent, it was the intent of the founders 20 years ago, and has been the intent behind each and every one of your efforts to advance the coalition. I do want to thank Ms. McDuffie for that statement, because I think it kind of melds and meshes all of the intents of all of what you do, whether it's the cultural representation and presentations, or the academic scholarship, or the advancement of the faculty, or the bridging of communications between the groups, between faculty and administration. It just all seems to work so well. So thank you, Teresa McDuffie, and let's give her a round of applause as she comes to present tonight's Diversity Award. Ms. McDuffie.
Good evening. I have the privilege of recognizing our Diversity Award recipient for the evening, but I'd like to begin by recognizing all of our Diversity Award recipients. In 2010, we have Dr. Rebecca Lawson, 2011, Dr. Louis Venters, 2012, Ms. Angela Crosland, 2013, Dr. Rhonda Brogdon, in 2014, Yvonne Davis. Let's give them all a round of applause. Our 2015 Diversity Award recipient has mentored minority graduate nurse educator students, mentored new minority faculty at Francis Marion University, worked with the psychology department to recruit minority faculty, conducted presentations for the nursing department in learning ways to better provide support to minority students. Our 2015 Diversity Award recipient serves as the Vice President of the Florence Chapter Minority Nurses Association. Currently works with Florence School District 1, Henry Sneed Middle School guidance counselors to begin a mentoring program for 8th graders who complete their required career plan and are interested in pursuing a career in nursing. Has created a Facebook page for the promotion of the Minority Association, including reaching out to minority community leaders to join and become mentors. Our recipient is an instructor and doctoral student studying methods to use simulation to increase minority nursing students' retention and success. She is dedicating her academic and personal life to assisting minority nursing students become successful. Our 2015 Diversity Award recipient, Crystal Graham.
introduction, I feel like I really don't need to say anything. I started to think for a moment, is she still talking about me? So I'd like to begin by taking a few moments to thank those who are here tonight that have helped me to really make this all possible. I have to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm humbled that He really even sees enough in me to use me for His purpose. My wonderful husband who's here tonight, James, he really has supported me in everything that I've set out to accomplish. And many days when I've wanted to give up, he's been the strength. His love and support have carried me through. My mother is here, my daughter Kaylee. I have friends and family and faculty from the nursing department that really have supported me in so many ways. They really are my village. So I was asked when Teresa told me that I was the recipient of the award, she asked that I speak about what diversity means to me. And diversity basically means being different. All of what was represented here tonight really is, to me, a perfect example of diversity. I was really moved by the performances and seeing the high school children. They really made this all come to life, and that's what diversity has been for me. It's more than just the surface qualities of race or gender, and it's about moving beyond tolerance to celebrating individuals, to celebrating diversities within every individual. Basically, I grew up in a small town where the people all looked the same. Their ideas and expectations were even the same. And so as a young, poor biracial girl with freckles and curly hair, my childhood was uncomfortable, to say the least. And so the lack of diversity is really the reason why I have devoted my life and my career to promoting diversity. And so my focus in diversity has been with minority children and college students. And just to give you an example, or the reason why really I chose to pursue this area, early in my PhD studies, I began to search the literature to find out why there aren't enough minority healthcare professionals. Because I thought, well, surely there's enough minorities in the United States. It doesn't make sense that there's not enough minorities to take care of minority patients. And it actually is that one of the problems, or not the problems, but one of the issues is that minority children often lack the opportunity to receive a quality education. Unfortunately, these same children enter into college and they're not prepared to succeed, and they fail to graduate. So they've lost their hope, and what they thought to be possible for them no longer has become possible. So that's what I've devoted my life to. I am a mentor naturally. I wake up each day, and that's what my goals are. It's to make a difference in the life of a minority child or college student. And so as remarkable as it is to receive this award, and as grateful as I am for it, the greatest reward that I've been given is the opportunity to be a voice of hope for those who silently cry to be seen beyond the color of their skin or their socioeconomic status. I'd like to challenge you all tonight with a question, and I ask, what choice will you make when you leave here today? Will you reach back to offer help to a struggling child or one who simply needs your hope and encouragement? Or will you just go about your normal routine? In order to guarantee that we have equality in our minority children and college students tomorrow, we need to do something today. If every person in this room leaves and immediately begins to mentor, either formally or informally, I can guarantee that we will see results. I would like to end by thanking the Coalition for your 20 years of service to promoting diversity, and to all of you here tonight who support in this cause. God bless you all, and thank you.
Congratulations to Crystal Graham, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very nice speech, and I understand that you're doing some absolutely wonderful work. Well, we are winding down and coming to our video presentation now. For 24 years, Stephen Sims has been here at FMU and has loved every minute of it. While it was Yvonne Davis who connected me with the members of the coalition, I thank her for that, she also connected me to Stephen Sims, who has worked with me to truly make my visit very enjoyable. He dots I's and crosses T's, he checks twice and then again. And it's wonderful to have someone conscientious like that on your team. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome by round of applause Stephen Sims, who will do our video presentation. Mr. Sims.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It is an honor to present our video for tonight. Without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful. Margaret Wheatley. On this occasion, as we celebrate our 20 years of existence as Francis Marion University's African American Faculty and Staff Coalition, we do reflect upon our past, our purpose, as a measure for determining where we began, where we are, and where we have yet to go. The video that we are presenting will enable you to grasp our mission as you know how we have been steadfast and unified in moving ahead. Our planning, accomplishments have not been accidental nor unintentional. Our members have been and are committed to positive change by impacting the lives of the FMU community in general and the coalition members specifically. Thus, the video will assist in substantiating our usefulness by highlighting those that we have helped, specifically through our programming and our scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, our special presentation of the evening, the FMU African American Faculty and Staff video presentation.
Since its founding in 1995, the Francis Marion University's African American Faculty Staff Coalition has been committed to the recruitment and retention of African American faculty and staff and to providing ongoing educational opportunities focused on the accomplishments of African Americans and their rich culture and history. The Coalition's mission is to stimulate and enhance cultural awareness and to promote the professional development and welfare of the university's faculty, staff, and students through a variety of programs. It performs these tasks through an array of support services, development opportunities, and social activities, all built on the strong foundation created 20 years ago.
So I think that there were three reasons behind us getting together. One was to improve ourselves through staff development and other opportunities, and to find out how could we, as a group of African Americans on this campus, be socially responsible and communicate better among ourselves. And then the other thing was, what could we do for students? We wanted to find a way that we might help to improve the lives of students on the campus, in addition to what we might do to help the university in its desire to increase the African American faculty members on campus.
One professor talked to another professor, talked to staff members, and the collective sort of took root. And then we just decided we need to formalize this body. And so through some research, those folks, they got together and decided the name, the scope of the organization, its mission, and really that is the beginning.
Among the Coalition's best known and most powerful initiatives is its scholarship program, which began in 2003 when its first scholarship was established and named in honor of former FMU administrator Dr. Joseph E. Hayward. The scholarship program continued to grow. In 2007, the university established a scholarship in memory of the late Miss Rebecca S. Lunn, an academic counselor, to be administered through the Coalition. And in 2008, the Dr. Leroy Pete Peterson Endowed Scholarship was established in honor of chemistry professor Dr. Leroy Peterson.
I can remember back 20 years ago, the very first scholarship we offered was $250. $250 that was gathered by coalition members just reaching down into their pockets. And boy, what a way we've come.
The combination of coalition fundraising and the generous matching funds given by the university has produced a bounty for the coalition scholarship recipients. Since inception of the program, the coalition has awarded 92 Hayward scholarships, 23 Peterson scholarships, and 10 Lund scholarships. More than $142,000 in scholarship aid has been awarded by the coalition since the program's humble beginnings.
I served on the scholarship committee for several years, and the interviewing process can really be telling. We've had students to literally cry during that process. They would come up and actually hug us, and I'm like, I wish I could give a scholarship to everyone that applies, even though I know that's not possible. But I have seen firsthand what it means to those individuals to receive any financial assistance. And to me, this little part we do for the students at Francis Marion, it goes a long way, and we can't do it alone.
The scholarship program is also very instrumental in helping our students understand what they are capable of achieving. With that scholarship program, we have asked our scholarship recipients to help out in programs and events. We've asked them to be very involved on campus, and we feel like the scholarship program is very instrumental in helping our students succeed.
The coalition has supported a variety of programs through the years, including endowing the Joyce Durant Chair, the coalition's Diversity Award, and support for the African American Collection at the James A. Rogers Library.
And from that funding, we have developed a collection that includes almost 3,000 print titles. We have electronic resources to include DVDs and databases, and some microforms that we've added to the collection. And not only does it focus on South Carolina history, African American history, it focuses on African American history nationally.
With 2 decades of achievement behind it, the coalition is now looking towards the future. Long-term goals include strengthening funding of the scholarship program, expanding professional development opportunities for coalition members, and fostering an environment that promotes communication and understanding across the university. We know this won't be easy, but with the continued support and encouragement of President Fred Carter and the rest of the university's administration, we know it is possible and embrace both our mission and the challenge that lies ahead. Together, we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted tonight to have our president here with us. And one of the things that the coalition mentioned in the conversations as we were leading up to this is how significant it is to have the dynamic leadership so supportive of the things that they do. Mr. President, sir, one of the things that stands out in your bio is your courageous leadership. You're widely known for your courageous leadership in all of the organizations that have acknowledged all of the wonderful things that you have done. Your awards by the National Governors Association, the American Association of University Professors solidify it, but I gotta let you know you're widely regarded by this coalition for your friendship and for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th president of FMU, let us please welcome our president, Dr. L. Fred Carter.
Establish one thing at the beginning. I can't sing or dance. It's been a wonderful evening this evening with a superb program. Tonight's been a true gala. I'm going to keep my comments brief, but I really want to congratulate Daphne and the Gala Committee for their creativity tonight, for their hard work, and for just a superb program. But one observation, let's not wait 20 years to do this again. You know, throughout the evening, I've sat here and I'm reminded how intertwined the history of the coalition has become with the history of the university. You know, that's not surprising. We're in the same business. The university was created to help young men and women to acquire the type of education that would change their lives and change the lives of generations that would come after them. That's exactly the work that the coalition has been devoted to the last 20 years. I would say that no other university in South Carolina has an organization quite like the coalition. So in a very real way, the history of the coalition has become a major part of the modern history of Francis Marion University. And both are most distinctive and very unique and worthy of enormous pride. But there's one comment tonight I want to make before I sit down. You know, in recognizing the contributions of the coalition, we naturally tend to focus on the scholarships and the financial assistance efforts they've provided our students over the years. It's wonderful we honor these efforts. The coalition has funded education for many, many students over the past 2 decades. But there's a point, a fundamental point, that I want to make tonight. A core part of the coalition that we tend to overlook, or that we tend to take for granted. You see, the real importance of the coalition doesn't involve what you do. It's really about who you are. The people in this room who comprise the FMU African American Faculty Staff Coalition are men and women of substance, and they're men and women of character. The greatest contribution to our students isn't the scholarships that the coalition provides, although they're very important. No, it's not the money. It's the example you set. It's the way you live your lives. You see, the coalition is really James McCloud looking up and smiling in the middle of a hard job on the coldest day of the year. It's Linda Sullen working through the afternoon and through the early evening because she knows that the person involved desperately needs that paycheck that weekend. It's Carlton Sellers never leaving a task until it's done perfectly because, well, that's the way Carlton works. It's Pete Peterson teaching the students, conducting his research, but also helping the sons and daughters of many of the rest of us pass high school chemistry. Pete, Luke sends his regards. It's Claretha and Miss Dodd and Mac, Lon, Sally, and Quincy, who have fed thousands of guests at Wallace House and the Cottage over the years, and who are probably the best ambassadors this university has day in and day out. It's Rainey Gamble, who understands academic affairs better than all the rest of us combined, and so on and so forth. Joe Hayward, who refers to me as his old boss. Well, Joe, we know who the real boss was in that partnership. It's Howard and Donald and Stephen, Janet. Man, I got stories for every single member of the coalition here tonight, but not enough time to tell them all. So for those of you who have worked hard to create and sustain this coalition over the past 20 years, the enduring value is not what you've done. It's who you are and the way you live your life. This is what means so much to our students, and it's what means so much to the rest of us at the university. You are, individually and collectively, the finest group of people with whom I've ever been associated. And that's what I'm celebrating tonight on your 20th anniversary. I'm celebrating each one of you. Thank you.
That's pretty good. I remember Dr. Carter when he was head of the Budget and Control Board in Columbia and also chief of staff for one of our former governors. And to see his leadership continue to flourish and to see everybody be a part of it is really, really special. I am going to, at this time, ask the founding members of the coalition that are here in the auditorium, would you all please stand? As I introduce to you your leader, Dr. Daphne Carter McCants. Dr. McCants has been just the epitome of grace in the back as everybody has come and on and off. She's a young woman and she's in a big, big leadership position. I told her that as she got ready to come, she didn't want me to say a whole lot about her, so she said if you would just ask the founding members to please stand by way of introduction for me, that'll be enough. So I'll let you all lead the round of applause for Dr. Daphne Carter McCants, Assistant Dean of Students, who believes in the principles and mission of this organization, and she is your president, and she concludes tonight's program. Dr. McCants.
Before I go into closing remarks, I want to remind the honorees and the scholarship recipients tonight to please stay afterwards for a group photo. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to come before you tonight as your president, and I am forever reminded by the words of our founding members that through God's help and the spirit of cooperation and partnership with our university's administration, much can be accomplished. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. and Mrs. Fred Carter for their support throughout the years, our dynamic administration for your support as well. The list goes on and on and on, but this coalition could not put this gala together without the support of our founding members, our current members, and our supporters. So everybody give yourselves a round of applause for being here tonight. I do not want to forget our program planning and development committee. Mr. Stephen Sims is the chair. He was dynamic in getting this together. Like Cynthia said, he does dot his I's and cross his T's. Also on that committee, Latasha Brand, Wanda Joseph, Demetra Pearson, Janet Pearson, Linda Sullen. I want to give those a round of applause as well. You've met Arthenius Jackson, our vice president, with the scholarship recipients. I do want to honor and acknowledge Shayla Campbell, our treasurer. She's handling all our donations coming through. Again, Ms. Linda Sullivan as our secretary, and Dennis Sullivan, her son, as our parliamentarian. And I do not want to leave you all tonight without having our special guest being recognized. You know, it takes a lot of work to put a gala on, and we were so fortunate to have a lot of volunteers with us today. For one, our FMU photography students, Mr. Donnie Paris and Ms. Sharika Hooks. They volunteered their time today to take photographs upstairs in the lobby area. The Faithful Few Band, Quinn Bell, Tyler Brunson, and Lorenzo Weiss. The Young Gifted and Blessed Gospel Choir, the Mayo Stars and Phoenix Fame, Justine Roberts and the Performing Arts Academy. Our members, emeriti and founding members, our friends and supporters, and last but not least, the FMU faculty, staff, and students. Again, this would not be possible without your support, and we look forward to working with you again next year and in the future. Thank you and have a great night.